guys. Today I'll be describing some aspects which are very important on the pillar extraction, that is the depillaring operation in mines, which is the final operation to extract coal in a very high quantity and in a befitting manner with due regard to quantity and quality, keeping all safety in view. But friends, before extracting the pillar, we have to prepare the mine as well as the district. As it is the final operation, we have to prepare the district likewise. And to do such, we have to follow some primary steps. What are those? First is, we have to submit 2 copies of up-to-date plan of the district, which will be depillared, along with some support plan. Though nowadays, based on our coal mine regulation 2017, the systematic support rule as such, which was in CMR 108 of 1957, has been abolished, but it has been given in a new shape, in other manner. How? We have to prepare the scam studies, which is given in CMR 123, and out of that the support plan we have to build up and we have to develop, and that support plan should also contain the standing orders. So all these things, that means the scam, the support plan, the standing orders, including 2 copies of up-to-date plan of the district, to be submitted to the regional inspector as per regulation 112, which is on depillaring operation, for approval. And after submission of this application with the other requisites, the RI, that means Director of Mine Safety's office, will give the permission in which manner the splitting would be made and the slicing would be made. That means splitting and slicing permission would be given up to the mine authority by the regional inspectors. And the same permission will give the outline or guidelines, we can say, how to heighten the roof if our seam thickness is more than 3 meters. So in that case, the roof heightening is to be made, because as per regulation 111, the maximum height during development should be made as 3 meters, and the maximum width of the gallery is 4.8 meters. As we all know that the different sizes of the galleries are as approved as per regulation 111 of the new CMR is 3 meter, 3.6 meter, 4.2 meter and 4.8 meter, and the maximum height is 3 meter. So the maximum face dimension for a development in a conventional or semi-mechanized SDL LSD based technology, it can have the 3 meter by 4.8 meter face dimension. Now coming back to the roof heightening. So if the roof seam thickness is more than 3 meter, so we have to heighten the roof. I'll be coming afterwards what are the different methods of roof heightening. At the same time, we have to support the district as well as the mine as per the approved depillaring permission, which would be indicating the support plan also. That means we can call it that the approved support plan. Keeping all the precautionary measures as stated in the Coal Mine Regulation 112 and CMR provision of 123, that is on scam, the measures are to be taken. Measures on what? Measures on safety, measures on precautions, different precautions are to be made. And at the same time, we have to update the mine plans. We have to keep note of the pumping procedures, the your capacity of the main sump, capacity of the intermediate sump, if any. That means overall the pumping capacity, the transport capacity, which is very important, because in development the production was not that much of high. It is about 25 to 30%, but in the depillaring the same percentage would shoot off or would rise to 70% plus, because some percentage of coal would be lost in the form of reefs between the slices, reefs adjacent to gulf, likewise. At the same time, we have to maintain all other records like local fall, main fall, subsidences, if any. All sorts of records are very important to maintain. And if it is the depillaring is done with the help of stowing, then also the provision has been given in the CMR 112, provision 112 of CMR 2017 about the quantity of coal raised vis-a-vis the quantity of sand stored. In the depillaring stage, we all know that the drilling and blasting cost is very low, but at the same time support cost is very high, because we are taking out the solid natural coal pillars which were very reliable and which have been formed at the time of development stage. So we are taking some sort of risk here. I call it a risk because we are uprooting the natural solid coal in situ coal pillars. So what I was talking about, that support cost will be significantly increasing because the prop density or support density would rise, but the drilling and blasting cost will be very low, because if we can compare that in development stage a round of blasting would require around 14 to 16 number of holes, while in depillaring it would be requiring about 8 to 9 number of holes. And the shift wise coal production will be increasing many times, which will practically compensate the support cost as well. Now I'll be dealing with what are the preparatory arrangements to be made prior to starting the depillaring operation. So in view of that, no extraction or reduction of pillars shall be commenced except with prior permission in writing from the office of DGMS, that means by the regional inspector. The application, as I stated before, shall be accompanied by 2 copies of an up-to-date plan of the district or the area which will be depillared. The plan should indicate some very important items. Number 1, the extent of extraction or reduction of the pillars. Number 2, the manner. The manner has to be proposed by the colliery manager himself, that in this manner the extraction will be carried out. Then the proposed plan should also highlight the thickness and depth of the seam, the rate and direction of the deep, the nature of immediate roof, which is very important, whether it is collie roof, whether it is saily roof, whether there is sandstone, whether there is mixture of other bands, etc. That has to be clearly stated about the nature of immediate roof. I will not your detail over here, because it has been told many times during my teaching in development that what do you mean by immediate proof, and any other information as required by the DGMS. For example, the experience felt or observed by the neighboring mine with the same sim maybe, or maybe another sim. The experience are to be jotted down very nicely with the plan so that DGMS can take a very good view of it, so that they can guide the mine authority in a very befitting manner. Another very important item is the offset plan. The offset plan will have to be submitted, because the offset plan is such a plan which shows the actual shape and size of the pillars and the galleries too, which would be made separately and would be submitted along with the other earlier plan what I stated just few minutes back to the DGMS. This offset plan is very important for the decision your decision making options by the DGMS people, because the shape and actual shape and size of this pillars, original pillars, solid pillars, would give the idea to the DGMS people, that means the regional inspector or the DMS, about approving the support plan which has been proposed by the colliery manager. So this will be more authentic and more competent guidance by the regional inspector, which can be very effectively implemented for the safe extraction of the mines of the district. Now, the support plan. In respect of proposed depillaring area, the support plan is to be prepared by the concerned manager, which will be approved by the DMS without or with some modification, alteration, or any change as the regional inspector may think fit or deem fit for the purpose. In view of my lecture, you might heard that sometimes I am talking of about DMS, sometimes I am talking of the regional inspector. Both are the same. The director of mine safety and the regional inspector, both are the same and identical person. Sometimes I am talking about RI, sometimes I am talking about the DMS. Again, very important things to be highlighted with this plan is the number of isolation stoppings to be provided in order to control the spontaneous heating. The chances of spontaneous heating in degree 2 and degree 3 mines for depillaring, during depillaring, is maximum, and we have to be very ready out of it, because if there is any chances of spontaneous heating or any sort of explosions, then we have to immediately complete the isolation stopping with the dimension as stated in the coal mine regulation as well as in the DGMS circular. In addition to that, the all records of the recent gas survey, as you all know that the gas survey has been told many times in the DGMS circular as well as in the coal mine regulation. If we see that the determination of percentage of inflammable gas and of environmental condition has been very aptly and very elaborately stated in regulation 169. In addition to that, there is some precautionary measures told about the inflammable gas in the regulation 165, in regulation 166, and the duties and responsibilities of the ventilation officer, which is provided in CMR 46. So these CMRs are very important and it has to be read along with my study notes. So this will give you the guidance how to maintain the record on the recent gas survey. Again, very important item is the pumping, because all of you must understand that the depillaring operation will give rise to your much volume of water, because there may be some sort of connection with the jors, some sort of any rivers, nalas. There might be some sort of hidden cracks, or some if there is any waterlogged area in somewhere else in the adjoining areas, but with a good barrier also. But there may be some sort of seepage which may not be sometimes normal. So that seepage will give a good quantity of water to be accommodated in the main dip, or that means the main sump. And if the main sump is overflown by any means, by sometimes there may be the load shedding, the far failure, sometimes there may be you see the failure in the pumping system as well. So we have to have some sort of, you see, the companion dips. The companion dips also are the very important to contain, to keep a good amount of water before it is overflown and you're rushing right up to the working phase. If at all there is any chances, the colliery manager or safety officer thinks, even sometimes you can take up the opinion of the your workman inspector. In that case, we should prepare, we should make the intermediate sum. And I have already discussed in my lecture during development that how the intermediate sum is made. So this pumping system is very important, otherwise some of the phases may have to be closed due to overflowing and accumulation of water at the face. Next very important item is the minor shelter. The minor shelter, that in depillaring it is mandatory to put the minor shelter. Minor shelter is a place where the persons can be advised, all the shift persons can be advised to go and take rest during there is that type of warrant in the situation or demand in the situation. For example, if there is any chance of explosion, explosion may be dust explosion, explosion may be fire explosion, or even there may be some chances or some you see the occasion of air blast. This air blast will again cause for different explosions. I'll be coming afterwards about the air blast also in detail. So in order to get rid of from this air blast or explosion, the miners are to be stationed in the miner shelter, which would be, the shelter will be located in such a place which will be free from the anticipated route of the air blast. That is very important. So we have to take care of this, that which would be the exact and very right place for your installation or for preparing the minor shelter. One thing you have to keep in mind, that the minor shelter site should be should be optimum, so that or optimum or adequate, so that the shift person can be accommodated over there. So there is some provision in the coal mine regulation that what would be the your area in meter square per person working in the particular shift. At the same time, I was just a few minutes back I was talking about the support, that the extra support or the more support density would be requiring during the depillaring operation. So sufficient storage of support item, maybe rope bolts, maybe the quick setting cartridge QSC, maybe the resin capsules, whatever be the your customary, whatever may be the system of your running system of the particular mine, as well as the approval obtained from the regional inspector, we have to keep ready of this. You see the sufficient storage, not only the rope bolt, not only the bar, which we call it as the TMT bar, thermomechanically treated bar, TMT ribbed bar we call it, as at the same time the QSC cartridge or resin capsule. All these have to be stored in a very sufficient quantity. In this aspect, there are a number of you see the circular based on the correct your procedure of you installing the roof bolt or rock bolt, whatever it may be, in the immediate roof as well as in the side of the pillars during or prior to extraction of the pillars. These circulars, mainly there are some circulars very important: 3 by 93, 6 by 93, 5 by 2002, 7 by 2002, 11 by 2002, 3 by 96, 6 by 94, etc., etc. These are very, very important one. In addition to, there are some other very current circulars also have been issued on this. You see the quick setting cement capsule, which is very important for 4 by 2010. There is some circulars on 2 by 2009, which is on the TMT bar and all. These circulars are to be read in conjunction with the coal mine provision and with my notes. So these are the very important item, and this availability of the, you see, the methanometers and the detectors, CO detectors, CO2 detectors, other CO tubes, fire extinguishers should be available in optimally, so that the mine would be very safe. So till now this much, and in the next onwards I'll be talking about some plans, what are the plans are to be kept ready, then the different, you see the line of operations, which is very popular and which is very suitable for the Indian mining context. So till now, bye bye, have a good day.